Helping the disadvantaged starts with sharing significant information obtained from experiences and research so that those listening can learn where help is needed most. Annie E. Casey Foundation's Kinds Count project publishes data annually so that both the public and the government can analyze the information gathered about disparities between groups of people. Organizations such as New Mexico's Voices for Children then take those statistics and use them to affect change in public policy to improve the health and well-being of New Mexico's children, families, and communities.
You have to have the data to be able to get beyond the finger pointing, to get beyond the anecdote information that people of color may, for instance, in my realm, in my world, create more crime.
I think what happens, you begin to stereotype people in institutions. And that barrier has to be broken down if we're ever going to break it down for the next generation.
It's important that people's perspectives and their feelings be acknowledged, but in order to move forward to impact this issue, the focus needs to be on policies and practices.
New Mexico's Voices for Children, the Annie E. Casey Foundation, the Albuquerque Human Rights Office, and the New Mexico Coalition for Human Rights created the Race Matters program, which incorporates data and research into organized discussions that our open conferences and conversations shed light on the racial disparities that exist, particularly for children of New Mexico.
There needs to be a safe place for people to have this conversation. Safe in terms of sometimes maybe to start this conversation, it needs to be race only or race specific, so that African Americans, Latinos, whites can sort of start this dialogue with someone to help them work through what their issues, what their ideas and thoughts are, and then bring people together to talk about varying perspectives.
African American families don't abuse their children more than white families do. And if that is in fact the case, and it is, then why do we have so many more African American children in custody and remaining in custody longer than white kids?
These conferences lead to higher awareness of the serious issues that face our youth. And that awareness often leads to action in the state government.
Then what we've also managed to do is start to change children's codes that deal with racial disparities within our own judicial system in the state of New Mexico. So it's become part of law. We did this in 2002 and again in 2004.
Some agencies have integrated programs that encourage racial justice and that can motivate other organizations to initiate similar programs.
The best way of dealing with racial disparities, I think, is to have honest dialogue and a training curriculum that's set up that provides a roadmap so that it becomes comfortable and safe for people to have this kind of dialogue. What we are doing now is developing a full-fledged curriculum for our staff. And so you know our staff is 180 people. And we have a well-balanced staff from management or upper management to the line staff. It's important that we learn everybody's respective culture and the needs of each of those cultures. And not just verbalization of it, but almost become part of understanding as we meet people, meet our children that are coming in our institutions, we understand what some of their basic needs are.
When we learn that race matters, when we learn the reasons why race matters, when we learn how to talk about race, and when we learn how we can take action, only then can we begin to remove the racial inequities that negatively affect people of color.